Hello, hello, hello. Coming back at you. Look into my eyes, look into my eyes, look into my eyes. The future's so bright, I have to wear shades. Oh, yes, indeed. What kind of hat is it? The Panama hat. The Panama hat is back in vogue. Why? Because you're all going to need your Panama residencies for all that loot. Real money that you're going to be making. Why? Because godliness is back in season. Oh, yes, indeed. Especially when it comes to money. Money versus currency. Real money. Real money. That's right, everybody. In fact, I represent, as Francis, codename Frank for many, the Frankensense of the world. And now is the time. A new world is going to be born with a new money. And it's time for gold, frankincense, and more. Yes, indeed. Fiat is in the death throes. Dollaris is dying. Indeed, indeed, indeed. I have a few here for you. A little bit of savings from some travel. Now, did you guess the right hat? I could give you some of these little old greenbacks that I keep here in this little wallet. Or, wait for it. If you like bright colors, how about a few South African rands? Feel it. It all comes new. Some of it in polymer. The paper is gone. Green, red, and blue. Choose your flavor. You'll get an animal with it too. You can play. Have you got a buffalo or a rhino? And on the rhino used to be a big note. Let me tell you, I had 10 rand in my pocket as a little brat. That was big wealth. You don't pay your parking with that nowadays. And then you have Nelson Mandela. Can it be more mighty than a Nelson Mandela with a pint of Stella? No, you can't. You'll just about buy your pint of Stella. Yes, and what do we have? The buffalo. Surely the beast. The beast to end all beasts. The real heavyweight. Not really. You won't do the shopping on that one, I'm afraid. So they print more buffaloes. And eventually you get the rare leopard. I haven't got one for you today. But hark, is that just picking on the Africans? Is it because I is black, you say? No. Let's jaunt on to the South of America. What would you say? Ooh, where are we? There's loot everywhere. What would you say to a few Mexicanos, Banco de Mexico, Velto Pesos. It even sounds grandiose. I can see Luciano Pavarotti reading this and making it almost sound operatic. Banco de Mexico, 20 pesos. Look at that fine gentleman staring at you right there. Look at him, an earnest and sincere chap, no doubt, or probably just a politician, a cheating, fraudulent politician. What do you say to that? Maybe there's many of him. Would you prefer? They come in polymer and blue flavor. That's like dentist mouthwash, the ice cream that comes in blue. It's for rinsing the teeth. I don't know if you're going to get your visit to the dentist on this little meager cash that I have here. And then, what about these? My Turkish brethren, surely Islam of the non-tertiary world has a better currency. Well, different piece of land, different God, same old problem. Here's another sincere gentleman. Look, this man, Best Turk Lirasi. Surely an honorable gentleman, I suggest. Surely. And here we have no less than Yirimi Turk Lirasi in green. Which color is your flavor? Note the colors. And here we go. At the very top, because everybody knows transgender rights matter more is the pink 200 with a rather effeminate gentleman or maybe a lady. I can't tell anymore. The world's become a little confusing to Sniper. Dear old Frankensense needs to be told. What gender is it? What gender is it, you ask? Well, I tell you, the gender I like. Oh, it's hard and it pings. And it comes in its own little condom. This, my dear friends, this is money. Welcome to real money. And isn't it time the truth came riding home? Let's unwrap out of his casket. You see, real money has a cause célèbre. It has a special little hosting, a special quality to it. Feast your eyes on that. And boy, does it ping like a gem. It pings and tings, and it'll keep on tinging until the cows come home, long after they've put you in the box. This, my friend, is what I would take. I would take Mexican silver, not Mexican paper. I will take silver from anywhere. 9.999, the new standard. Oh, it's beautiful. Put it back in its box. Silver is greatness. Silver is money, and godliness is returning to money, the great fraud. Oops, I just need to work on my appearance. This is a public moment. Thank you. Thank you. And then the Grand Master, who is far from a disaster. That which glitters, glitters in gold. Gold, you say? Yes. It has a little queen bitch on the back for reasons I'd care not to get into right now. But that, my friends, is gold. It's out of the light. Keep it in the light, Sniper. Keep it in the light. Real gold. And we are seeing a bit of truth being returned to the world of great deception. These are moments I live for. My heart sings. My heart sings for when the deception falls apart. My heart sings when truth, like gravity, inexorably reasserts on the bullshit. And that, ladies and gentlemen, brings us to the charts, to the charts, to the charts, to the charts. What a beautiful moment. Here we are. GBP, gold GBP, right here. And it has made the macro weekly target, given to you first before anybody else when we were asserting God markets. And we will talk about God markets because this YouTube is the essence of godliness. And we will talk greatly on this. So, what has just happened? 1511 pounds. That's right. You could have been long. You could have been long on this structural setup way back here. Let's draw. It's the delight. In fact, I even have a pen for that. Why not use it? You could have been long from this line here, beautiful people. I'll do it in transgender pink because they matter more. And you could have been long round about there, 990s, all the way up to the 1511s that we now find ourselves in. And I am speculating on a little bit more as part of this move before we get our first considerable of some pullback nature. And at that juncture, when it starts to bottom from that selling, I will once again re-enter. We're talking the three pots. Remember the three pots. Draw the three pots for the beautiful people. Yes, I want them to learn the three pots of truth. We need a fatter line. Let's try again. The three pots that you should all have. Your investment pot. Your lukewarm pot. And your hot pot. We love a bit of hot pot. Oh, that curry, that spice me nice, fast and furious is the way. That is your adrenal, your endorphin. That is your rush, you risk takers. And that's where they happen. And I would like to say to you that you should have all three of these pots. And the blue pot is the under-leveraged pot. It is absolutely flat. It is investment. You are permanently in for the macro. This is as close to a hodl as you get. We have been accumulating since the 2000s lows of silver into the first part of the bull that was preemptively truncated and all the way through the bear. That is your no leverage pot. Let's remove that and go back to a line. And this is you should all aim to have. In other words, this one you just keep building. The number just keeps growing and it organically grows and it starts to compound upon compound. But this that we're talking about, this beautiful chart that you see before you, this was time for a little bit of spice. That's right. And depending on where you are in your trading development, you should have been trading that entry there of transgender pink fame to there and maybe holding a little bit over for a little bit more. We deal with that in our community and the overperformance and how it all happens and wind up patterns and all the other beautiful technical aspects that absolutely max you out, that got us saying that this is going to be the gold run. When we first broke way down, 1270 USD on gold, 990 pounds. 990 pounds. That's right. Let's get rid of that alert. Note, you should use alerts. You always get the news when you're supposed to get the news. And that's how it is. You should always use alerts. Even when they interrupt your live stream, which is kind of annoying, but hey, it kind of can happen. Okay, good. So what else have I got for you? The hot pot is when you have reached a certain standard of trading that you can be trusted to do some high leverage trading. And then at that point, you will do what I call hot pot trading. And that's what we deal with. And that can accelerate that which you do. It can accelerate that which you do to such a degree that you can further stack your cold pot with greater rewards. I need to live markets trading. I've got things going on here, there, and everywhere, and it's all happening. Focus on you. 3 pots, no leverage, light leverage, hot leverage. Always keep an eye out for that. Okay, so what is going on here? So target made gold against GBP. However, you should be taking some of those profits out of your orange pot and transferring them to your investment pot. Like that. Tax from there into there. So this grows. This is the always in pot. This is the acceleration that builds your base a little quicker. You should always have a foundation, and your foundation should be low leverage. This is your stability. This gives you comfort about how things are and where you are in terms of various things. And that's how you should play it. And without doing that, you're going to get into trouble. Now, what about the gold euro? Why are we still long the gold? Why haven't we called for all leverage gold trades? 2 reasons. One, we have an ascending wind up HVF that could mean the gold pound has a slightly higher target there at 1577. Number 2, we expect gold to turn after all the macro patterns have made their journey. In other words, the providing the last one over the line is actually your final signal, because we expect them all to make target in the same run and roll of events. And where is gold euro, you might say? Well, let's jump out of gold pound and acknowledge that it was done. It was done, by the way, in 20% of the time it needed. We have time stops. That's right. We have time stops for you. And that tells you how and why you should get out after a period if it's not performing as expected. So we've literally just flipped over to a very similar chart, very similar pattern. Given on this channel, first given to our precious premium community. But after this had moved a bit and all our guys were in, we spoke openly of it to you. You could have taken advantage of this. You could have seized advantage of the bottom of the COVID dip. A number of us were saying this is the best entry at the COVID dip for those on silver. Silver traded a new low as part of that stall box low that I did for you in the previous. And I won't reiterate again, watch the other one. So where is gold euro? When is that moment that it stops moving? When is the moment it stops going up? Well, the first target that we're looking for is the 1688. But again, there's a possibility that it might wind up a little higher. This has come all this way. Where did the euros? You could have got into the euros over there at around 1135 euros, and you are riding it up to 1688. Not yet happening. Why? Because the euro is benefiting the most from the dollar strength. It's kind of binary. The one goes up and the other one automatically goes down. Those two on a seesaw. Most currency across all the pairs, the biggest currency swap line and highest transaction volume counted in trillions daily is expected to be the Euro USD. And when the one is very weak, people that are moving money out because they're expecting ongoing weakness will move from the one to the other. Okay, that is a binary. If one is strong, the other is weak. That's why the dollar index has so much of the euro in it and the Swiss franc. It actually needs an update. It needs to have some more of the emerging currencies. It needs to have a bit more of ruble and China in terms of economy size. It needs a bit of an update of the basket. It has Swiss franc, pound, Swedish krona, etc., etc. So we'll have a look at the dollar index. But the key point is, when is the gold run over for a first pullback before continuing again? Yes, we expect it to continue again. Further upwards, multiple thousands. But it's going to come in surges and there will be pullbacks. You won't always get just a solid straight line every time in a way that you would most want. So let's have a look at some of those comments on the other screen, and we'll come back to some more charts and silver, the big one that we have to cover with you because it is just such a big story. So, Godliness. Fees are exploding on BTC and ETH. It will end up crushing them just like in 2017. Fees are exploding, he says. Well, if it's being traded to be held and not being transferred that much, it will fail as a payment mechanism, but it will succeed potentially for a while as a increasing speculative asset in value. So that's how you must do it. So if you're not moving money backwards and forwards, you're stacking Satoshis, you're stacking Ethereum. What ends up happening is you don't experience too much fees, except when you're buying on the exchange of relevance. So that's the way to view it. As a payment system, I don't think either of them are going to be the eventual winners. I don't think any Mark 1 cryptos are going to be the eventual winners in this game. I truly don't. And that's literally all I can actually say on that one. There's so much to be learned. There will be lower cost options and they will probably come if they haven't already come. And some people will be shouting XRP, others will be going their coin, my coin, future coin. It's all in the mix and it can all come. And I wouldn't overly concern myself with it. Go with what's going up. Go with what's going up. Okay, let's see what other comments we've got. Yep, there's a gold-backed crypto. Indeed, there is, sir. Silver trades are doing fantastic, said some. So we'll switch to the silver markets. I love the idea of Aragon, small supply as well. Never bought 24 karat gold, says somebody. So I'm not saying gold will fall. I don't know who was being referenced there. So we are currently bullish and we remain bullish until the gold euro meets its full and final target, which may get a little boost as well. Or it will fail on that little boost, but we'll close part at the macro target, the weekly that you've seen here. These charts we've shown you before. You got shown them quite early after they'd broken. Let's go to the silver chart. I'm going to leave your cold pots, lukewarm pots and hot pots on there. But let's just see if I can just lift the chart above. and remind you from whence you came. I said last time, for those of you that think we have missed the move, you have missed absolutely nothing of the move. So the last time gold was at 1927 or 1907, I'm not too sure the exact high, I'll have to check it. It varies per exchange. I've got it as 1920.7 or one of the two. It's clearly blown that high, and what has now happened is silver has began its run. Silver was deep into the 40s when gold was at that level last time in 2011 when that happened, the end of 11, back half of 11. So if we put those two charts on together again, let's get it like that. And I did this briefly, so I won't overspend too much time. You will be reminded that gold actually is now well ahead of silver compared to where we were last time. Silver did tap out at its high before gold at the $49. So this was $49 up here. I'm going to have to say goodbye to our pots. I'm sure you'll remember that. Watch the recording if you need reminding. Have 3 pots. No, go away. Go away. Thank you. So let's draw. This was $49 over there. Wow, that's a fat line. Let's try that again. That was $49 right there for silver. Silver started pulling back, and that was its apex high point. Gold made its high here a little bit afterwards, so it continued on, but silver was already in trouble. So when gold made its high over there, silver's highest point was around the mid 40s, and that was a bounce after selling off. And it had actually been higher when gold was a tad lower, when it was there. So it did tap out a little quicker. And it was all around May, June, July, April, May of 2011. So as you can see where we are now, if we zip across to today, we are now higher than we've been before. Let's get that high in. Higher than we've been before, and gold is at 1930s. Let's get an exact number from somewhere. Gold USD. Where she stand? Let's go right to the bottom. Gold USD is so many takes of gold. I've got a bit of a long list. Damn, can't find him. 1930s. Let me just check it here quickly. And silver is only at the mid-20s, 24s. So it's got actually a lot to catch up. And we've shown you before in the bull market how once it gets going, it truly gets going. It's the nearest thing in the traditional markets to a crypto. So that's the big upside on gold and silver. That's what I wanted to do. Now, I've actually got 2 trades for you that I'll be giving you near the end. What I need you to do is to give me 1 share and a like. I see that we have 538 people watching right now. Thank you for coming on. We're just recapping the gold and silver. We will show you the dollar index, why it's probably going to go lower, a bit lower for more. And that will keep gas under Bitcoin, Ethereum USD, gold, and silver USD. In actual fact, we've noticed that the God markets were the first to move. Remember, this whole theme of this particular YouTube is godliness. Who is the God market? Gold was the ultimate God market. And I'm going to find you the XAU USD quickly. And we'll go to the US dollar version of it. In fact, even better, I'll just take the futures. It's the best of them all. So we go GC. And that way we will get a price. And let's lose the comparative. Sorry for that. Got to lose that comparable, otherwise we end up with a we end up with a double chart. And I should have done it before, because now it's a headache to do it now, especially on touchscreen. Ah! Can't take it off. Can't take it off. I need to do my keyboard. I'm going to have to leave it on. Let's see if we can get the scale to change. No, I will get a different gold chart. Sorry for that. When you're using a touch screen, it has some limitations in functionality. Oh, drat. Let me just get that. Will that delete it? Yay! Damn, busted. Made a fool out of me. Sorry for wasting your time there. Okay, look at this moon. Now, many people were thinking cup, lip, and a handle. And I'm afraid it looks like you're not going to get any form of a handle just yet. But remember that gold euro didn't have too far to go. I didn't look at it in terms of absolute amounts, but the euro's been a little bit stronger. So gold's movement in euros has been a little bit less. So it's going to take a little longer before the two major currencies of both pound and the euro have made it. The pound is home. The pound is home. Small wind up, give you a little bit more. The euro is still looking to get home. Could also have a small wind up and give you a little bit more. At that junction, we're at. So I think we're going to clear through the house. The price is 1941. Monday was the day. We said it probably on Friday that you'll probably break it on Monday. We said at the beginning of the last week that this was going to be a massive anti-fiat week. Everybody's Bitcoin has gone up. Everybody's Ethereum has gone up. But the big story is the God markets, and that's the godliness theme. And gold was the one that led the way. So on this long time frame chart, as I mentioned and I've said before, 1250 right here. That was the beginning of the gold bull market. Now we've got a clear-cut sign that silver's having to play catch up, and we have the silver market now moving. And the best buy, incredibly, in the wet the bed moment of the COVID-19, that you actually get you could have bought here or as low as here, and actually that stall box that we drew for you last time in the blue there, you've only really just broke it here, and you actually had a dip out the bottom. So we refer to this often at the key trend change. This is really important. Just before something properly takes off, it first goes to the other side, tests the wall, gets a run, and comes and jumps. And that's what we call the final capitulation, the fake out one way and the snap back into the bull that way. And that's what happens. So it's a look one way, rush the other way type candle. I should do this. This was all in a square. It was very beautifully shaped. And this was your stall box square right there. And you actually dipped out of the bottom on a wick. Not on a square. Get out, round line. That right there, you can see him. Great opportunity. Think you trade $11. As low as $11, you could have bought silver at that point. Were you stacking? That's where your blue point, your blue pot, auto buying just continues, and is dollar averaging every month, accumulating you auto, and that is a great entry. And as I say to you, good people, the last time gold was at its these levels, silver should be somewhere up top here. This we can also do in orange box. Should be somewhere here. The 42 to 50 range. That's where, like for like, it could be. I can't say should. Maybe silver had pumped a little too much and got a bit ahead of itself. Maybe that's why it peaked a bit earlier and started coming down a little bit earlier. But I'm just saying to you, for those of you who think 24.20, I've missed the bus. You've missed nothing. You've missed nothing. This is the basing pot, and this is your first spike. This is your first high volatility spike with lots of catch up to come. So let's get our energy back and let's talk. Let's talk about the gold-silver ratio. Man, oh man. At 113, we said this thing has turned. Look at it now, 79. The first to call this turn on the pop-out type 2 rising wedge. We covered this before, again with you, up top there. This is on the big time frame monthly. Look where you are today now. If you had just got in, leveraged and held, you would be laughing over this period and with what's gone on. And that's the only way to look at it, good people. There was that wedge. I never tire of drawing it. The pop-out type 2 wedge, looking one way, feigning, shaking all the bulls out, one last stab in the back just when they thought it was all over and they were done taking their beating, and then turns around like an absolute beast. Why? Because it was high volatility up and is still in a high volatility state. This was an absolute bell horn bull signal. Absolute. Never before 128 being made. Never before, guys. Never, ever before. And the main justification from me as to why I assess we will overshoot to the downside as well. I see a single digit. I see a single digit in the gold-silver ratio at some point. That doesn't mean it's going to stay there and languish there as part of this down move. If you hear the CEO of AG speaking, someone shared the video, actually, thank you for that. You're always welcome to share on Twitter. Follow the Market Sniper at the Market Sniper. Follow the Crypto Sniper at the Crypto Sniper. Follow both the YouTube channels. Go and do it now if you're not already doing it. Hit the bell and go always notify. Otherwise, you won't be notified many times. If the AG CEO, that's First Majestic, we will look at the chart. First Majestic, he said, we only get 8 ounces for every gold ounce we find of silver. Silver is grossly undervalued. Grossly undervalued. And in fact, he stopped selling when the price was so low. And he said, we'll just stack. So his company stacked. And he only started supplying again. I like miner heads like that say, stuff that. This is a scam. We're not being paid a fair price on real money, hard to discover, real properties in the ground, silver. Yes, sir. So that's AG. Let's go have a look at his stock and let's hope the man is being rewarded. And my suspicion is he is indeed. So without further ado, let's go have a look at AG. Who has some First Majestic or any other precious metals? Shout them out in the comments. Let's hear you. What have you got? What have you got? What have you got? What have you got? Look at that beautiful view. 14.17. I bought out of the money, well out of the money calls with a strike of 10. Now already $4.17 and we have just begun this game, guys. This is the monthly chart. Looks like a proper CEO. Some of the best resources. I like him. And it's actually lagged the likes of Silver Wheaton a little bit and the others. Let's see if it gets on its horse and gets pumping. Won't this be good? Won't this be good? Is it good structure? Yes. Does it have what the sniper likes to see? Godliness and HVF method. My goodness. Truth seeking. Real truth. Deception. Culling. Bullshit. Wiping away. Truth seeking. HVF method. A smidgen of good leverage used by a smart head is the gift to wealth in the next 18 months. I don't care where you're starting from. I don't care where you are starting from. Beautiful, beautiful. First impulse, second impulse, and third. Feels almost criminal to put it in red. And breakout we have. Breakout we have. And I bought calls of this when it dipped here. My best buy. Because I got 100 calls with each call having hundreds of equities associated with them. It was the best buy. I nailed that one because I got in once there and it went down. I doubled down and said, Never. I'm getting more for less with a lower strike. It was a real value buy, and now they're both well in the money. That is AG. Beautiful and huge leverage target. If you want to know what it is and all the details and find out more, grab our free mini series in the link or book a chat to get either our self-study, which will be changing in structure. Careful. And also our trading metamorphosis program. So you can book and have a chat with real traders, just like us. What a week we've had. Wow. Grateful. Gratitude's a good emotion. Truly grateful. Truly grateful that some truth and real bullshit deception is being slayed right now. And that we were able to position for it and say, this ain't right. I'm standing. Let them all take a knee for a Marxist organization. It ain't truth. Let it all back the fiat proliferation, BS, World Health Organization. By the way, Bill Gates wants to inoculate you not once, but many times. So he wants to make sure he has multiple chances to kill you, by the way. Have a look at that. Can you believe it? Anyway, I won't go there. I won't go there today. Not today, Francis. Calm down. So that's AG. What have I got for you? Well, actually, I want to remind you of two other, and this is going out in the Market Sniper because it's got two key trades that I'm going to tell you about. One is an index that I'm very bearish on. And I actually think other indices that I'm a little bit bearish on, though it can be fatal to short indices, are looking a little toppy, and that's the NASDAQ. We'll have a look at that. And what else am I going to show you that's going to be interesting? I'm going to show you a currency trade that is indicating more weakness for the dollar, I feel. More weakness. And it's one I'm hugely bullish for in the future. So I'm bearish medium term, short medium, only to come back lower down and to buy it again for dollar strength in the future. It's crazy. You're thinking, how can he talk about dollar strength? First down, then up in my view, as per the dollar index. Let's have a look at the dollar index and see how it's dying today. That is some speed of descent. That is some speed of descent, that candle right there. I'll just take my little drawings off, my little squiggles, and you can just take that in all for yourself. Let's get a square and let's draw it up. That is some descent, guys. That is some proper selling going on right there. That is furious. But be careful. Nothing is forever. Nothing necessarily is forever, but I sense a little more. I sense a little more. Remember, we're the ones that said early to you, we can go 91 and in anywhere in between the 91 and 93 range. That was up when it was at 98 in a first inverted in a new trend. Even in the 99s as well. This can go down, all the way down to where that pink box that you were seeing just now. Let's have it back. Where is it? Will it come back? Yep. That pink box. But we're getting there very, very surprisingly quick. Even I didn't expect this same level of viciousness. So obviously the euro has gained ground against the dollar, because where does it all go? Most people can't rush into gold and silver. Most people can't rush into Bitcoin. Bitcoin's 250 billion market cap product. How's that going to cope with all the trillions that have been created? But I still have a feeling we ain't easily going to run this slow, and that at some point before this low, there can be some turning. There can be some snapbacks. There could be some vicious price behavior. Watch out when the Fed speaks. A date is coming soon. Go to Forex Factory, check it out. They might say something. This is getting disorderly. They might not like it, but maybe they need it. Maybe they're engineering it. Who knows? But watch out when they speak, because the announcements could be interesting. If we break this low, our theory of a possible continuation structure then goes down the chain. But this is coming down real fast, but it can suddenly slow. It can start to have pushbacks and a little bit of slowness, especially after gold euro makes its target. What's going to happen? Pushback. But if fear, then everybody runs back into the dollar. What could happen? NASDAQ could get weak and get its fall. How's the NASDAQ open today? Let's have a look. That's not the NASDAQ. It's way down here, way down here. Now, those two candles suggest to me there could be something coming. They gapped up and got created. In fact, on the wicks, they've closed the gap, but if those wicks hadn't closed, they're actually called abandoned babies. And there's two of them. Close to being shooting stars on this particular NASDAQ composite. I think on the NASDAQ 100, it's even more like shooting stars and even bigger, because remember, they've got the biggest one. Should we try get the NASDAQ 100? It's very, very similar. They look very, very similar. So this could be a bit steamy. One of those stocks that could be steamy in there, after calling it to the long side, could easily be coming back down pretty hard. Your best friend, Mr. Unicorn and Insider. TSLA. Wow, how's that for a little blow off? Like the big time frames for seeing that big wick pushback and a gap from 1 week to the other. Very, very interesting to me. Cars. Who's in the market for buying a car right now? Doing much traveling, are you? No. No, not that much driving and traveling going on. Everyone's on Amazon buying their stuff and delivery, internet delivery, parcels, etc. Not that much pootling even down to the local shop anymore. So yeah, Tesla, NASDAQ, watch it. Feeling a bit bearish. No structure, not an HVF for me yet. Maybe on smaller time frames, maybe I should look. But a certain sign of general weakness to come possibly in the NASDAQ. It's all just been too giddy. And this was one huge runner. If we get that, you could have a thriller. It could be a spiller all the way from Manila. I know you love it when I say that, so I have to say it. That's what you could get. That's what you could get on that. TSLA. Okay, watch out for him. And what am I going to be showing you? Well, I'm going to show you the index that I think is going to lose more than half. And because I'm seeing that, I'm thinking weakness potentially on NASDAQ. This index to half, I've gone short it recently and was just talking about it with my community earlier. And I think it's a great sign of weakness, but possibly before that, a bit more dollar weakness as well to come. So we need to finish gold to its target on the euro and maybe a couple of wind-ups more. So there might be a few more days, even a week or week and a half, week two maybe in it. But what's going to happen on the USD Korean won? Now you might remember I spoke of the Korean won a lot. You thought I've run away on it and I ain't talking about it much anymore. Well, we had the dollar blow up, which looked like things were going to get disorderly and get out of hand. And we will, in the end, look to be long this on at some point on the super macro that I've done before. Go and watch the Market Sniper USD Korean won if you want to see the grand macro, which involves monthly charts on this pair. Okay, so we are not forgetting about this pair. You will see right there what was attracting me. Right there. So, over here. That was the great Asian crisis of the 96-97 period up here. That eventually ran all the way through into the beginning of 98. A massive boom. And here you have the technicals. Here. And the dollar milkshake theory will bring this about. Brent Johnson probably getting a lot of heat right now from a lot of people. You can be right. You might not just be right on the timing. And for now, a little bit of weakening of that dollar index. But watch, it can turn and short soon. So what is the short trade in this? Well, this blew off. It took a marginally higher high here. And actually, it's looking quite weak. So maybe it dips down. That doesn't mean it makes target, but maybe it has a dip. And that's the target, that's the setup of interest that I'm ready to share with you. For those of you that are Forex traders, that's why we're on the Market Sniper. Yes, we will talk about Bitcoin. Yes, we will mention it. We're also anti-fiats in theme and godliness and truth. And things that do not get proliferated are of interest to us. And that is Bitcoin too for now, at least at an electronic level by decree, until somebody changes that. That right there says problemo. And the momentum swinging down has got harder and faster. So guess what? We're calling for a sell-off in the USD Korean won. Does that come all on Korean strength, or is that going to be partially also led by further dollar weakness? Why that gold might go a little bit longer. We're seeing it in the currencies. Do you think your Bitcoin and crypto guys are looking at charts like this? I don't think so. You need to understand what the dollar's done. There was a great chart that was shared. Can't remember who did it. I think I retweeted it. Should have captured it to share it with you. There is a correlation between bull and bear markets and the dollar weakness for Bitcoin and dollar strength. And extreme moments of dollar strength, it takes a lot of the zip out of crypto, and in great periods of weakness, it certainly adds fuel to the fire. Even though Bitcoin went up immensely of its own accord, you cannot recognize or fail to recognize that there's two things when you talk Bitcoin USD. In the same way that our euro has not met its target yet because it's benefiting from dollar weakness, which means longer in the gold bull if it's to perform. Yeah, let's have a look at the comments because I'm going to show you another trade that could be of interest. Institutional investors are screwing up BTC just like the gold papers market. It'll be no different. Yes, I fear futures and derivatives will always do that. And when they allowed that, they handed the keys to the kingdom for price controlling. BTC is the scam. 1 megabyte will survive. Bitcoin is BSV, says somebody. Let's see the most recent comments because some of those are a while back. Hope that's distilled water. It is indeed. I have jugs of distilled water from my distillers. I have 2 distillers running like kettles. This is clean, clean, clean. You should see what I strip out the water, and this is a clean water place. You should see what I stripped out of the water in London. Grey, green sludge at the bottom of my distillers. This is pure, pure godliness water. The way it comes, snow, mist, rain, all is distilled water. That's why we drink it that way. As nature intended. Fluoride free. Okay, let's show you the other. Let's show you something else. Let's show you something new. Okay, remember, it's not a recommendation. You want to be able to talk and see what we're doing and trading. You're welcome. If you want to join the community, you'll have it as I'm seeing it. And also the great learning environment and everybody else's great ideas. There's many sets of eyes in there that have been trained up to a very high standard of real committed people. And I remain eternally grateful for having my awesome community who show up here as well on the live feeds because they learn about God markets. The key thing about God markets, I shouldn't really show, whoops, Snaggets. Whoa. That was the one I wanted to show. That was the one I wanted to show. You saw here, Bitcoin and Ethereum running on a rather indifferent day for the alts. There was one crypto.com coin. And all the others were down. All the others were down. The macro coins can have their moments and can be leading. And remember also that Bitcoin led first. Bitcoin led first. Bitcoin led first when we had the run. It had the 61.8% rally. The alts just got from the one side of the blood basement to the other. They never got out the basement. Remember that. I've explained that before in previous draws. So let's show you something else. Let's show you something else. Now, this is an index that I've spoken about before. An index. There's something going on in Spain. For me, there's something going on in Spain. Yep. So this is your IBEX. Now, the IBEX is the top 35 Spanish companies. Now, I don't think Spain ever fully recovered. In fact, I'm pretty confident they never fully recovered from... Most nations didn't, but I think they were the worst affected. They were property-based. They were tourist-based. They required Brits to come and buy properties, Swedes to come buy properties, Germans in their warm climate. And the essence of that was awful for them in 2008. And I think there's been an amazing cover-up job of the amount of damage, where Ireland's great woes during this period were fully exposed. Spain has been hiding out on the long-term damage. For those of you that like macro head and shoulders, this is not one for you, because that would actually lead to a negative target. That would lead to a negative target, but it's very interesting and was a key level. What was it? 6,500. $6,500. This is broken down. This is great inverted HVF structure. I'm calling for, there's a target just above 3,000, and I actually think there's a very strong chance you might hit a 2.9 something with a bit of overrun. So our target is in the 3.1s areas. You should have been short up there. Guess what's happening? You're in a little bit of a rally. What are these? 2 shooting stars. Again, another index. 2 shooting stars showing exhaustion on another index on a big time frame. Can you see what I'm saying to you guys? It's a dangerous game, shorting indices. However, he says, bad draw, try again. However, he says, try again. Why not use the pen? It was there for a reason. When I was looking for their keyboard, where'd it go? It's like that. Asking your wife where the remote control is. Apparently, it's the power fulcrum of the household. Those two. You see how much nicer? Use the tools. Okay, so that's a shooting star. Look, it's not at a typical place. Nasty, look one way, go the other way, selling wick there. Absolute throwdown. Man, we should have some volume on that. The data vendor will not provide volume. Ah, nasty little bitch. Okay, but this is very bad structure overall for us, and our view is 3,100, possibly a dip below the 2.9s on a little bit of afterburn panic spike. That is significant at 71769. Hello, how many times do you get somebody who says it's 7,200 today, it could go 299 and all the 9s? Gives you a number that starts with a 2 on something that's currently trading 7,200. That's called balls, guys. Come on, hit the like button. Hit the goddamn like button. From the man that told you single digit oil when it was 60 goddamn dollars. From the man who told you it was alt season 2 months ago. From the man that told you to short Bitcoin at 6,000, told you to short it again at 10,200 and said it could go down. Hit the like button. Come on, you're getting some bravery badges here. I want a bravery badge. So Winnie the Pooh or something. Come on, help me, help you. Okay, so with all that enthusiasm and gusto, that is pointing to me to a very, very low move on the indices, and Spain has got old world businesses. It's not the home of Facebook. It's not the home of Tech Enterprises Inc. It's the home of tourism, hotels, property for tourists, for second homes, for which there's still a glut, banks that overfinanced and funded that tourism, and everyone's only talking about Italy. Everyone's only talking about Italy's problems. Trust me, the whole southern Mediterranean never got over at any degree. Some of the others have recovered to some degree in Northern Europe. Even still, most of them are damaged goods. but this is extreme. Something going on. And I don't know if it's going to be a COVID-19. They haven't dealt with it particularly well. I heard a bit of mutterings on the ways. There's something else. Or banks, because this is banks stuffed with bad mortgages. Or some other story. Watch the news wires for Spain. Where's my Spanish friends? How's it going in Espanol? Talk to me. Where the Spanish posse? Now, I'm not short BTC right now. It's not necessary to post the same thing 9 times. Good question, Jeff. Where's Jeff's question? John, short the IBEX is what I'm not advising, but I am telling you I am short. In fact, I think indices are going to have a drop. In short, when the gold, when the gold is done with its move, I think we could have a bit of fear and a bit of pain and global contraction again, deflation again, and all of that stuff. Will we have enough time for the USD Korean $1 to break and do what it does? Will the dollar keep going down for a little bit? Or can the stock market keep going down? Will the stock market sell off and the dollar still be weak for a while first? And then will it suddenly turn and we get a snapback of strength back into the dollar on contraction fears? And, we've got to be in the big global currency. Who knows? But don't like that NASDAQ. Don't like that Tesla right now. Don't like the IBEX right now. That's equities. I'm giving you, and you can go look for individual equities that represent weakness to you, and you can take them. And you can take them in Spain. You can look at Spanish banks. I haven't had the time to do that yet. You can go have a look at over-fluffy mega corps in the NASDAQ, such as Tesla and or others. And you can decide on a few shorts if you wish. Remember, though, in these print-a-thon inflation times, most of your money in the risk assets will be made on the long side. But to do what they want to do and to print more, they will create fear and they will smack things down and they will go, oh my God, unemployment, no jobs, stocks so bad, everything so awful. Isn't it terrible? Must print another 6 trillion. Okay? So to get the license to absolutely destroy the fiat system, to finish killing it off, they need suffrage, they need drama, they need pain. And the stock market is the index for it. The fact that the debt market is significantly bigger doesn't matter because nobody knows about the bonds and the debt markets in retail land. Everybody knows what McDonald's sells for, etc., and the corporations that they're in. Good. So remember, if you like these live streams, give us a share and a like. If you want to talk to us about being in our community, go grab a link. I've said that enough times. You can book and have a chat. Talk to somebody just like you who started a couple of years ago before you and see how's it turned out for him. Ask him yourself. No salesman, just other people that are clients doing my calls for me. Isn't that awesome? And they're happy to. Let's have a look at some questions. Jeff Goldblum, are silver and gold still good buys at their current prices? We never put up the silver chart. That is a gross, on its own, that is a gross overlooking error on my behalf. No, we did bring it. Look at the volume. We do have volume on the futures as well. This is big volume. So, Jeff, to answer your question, what I'm saying to you is, last time gold was this high, silver was in the 40s. What I'm also saying to you is you have 3 pots. You could start your investment now. Don't go leverage long on a hot pot now. You might get the fag end of the move and then have a vicious pullback of 15% against you and it cleans you out. Start investing. The pyramid is built on a foundation. Your investment is the lower level. Your leverage trading moderate is the next level. Your hot pot can accelerate your foundation building, providing you remember to tax it down. If you keep just growing it, and it's also fun and you're a bull in a bull market and then the market turns and you give it all back, you did nothing but go for a roller coaster ride. And the amount of people that did that with cryptos, with the dot-com boom, etc., you've got to say, I've seen this movie before. Take it out, put it in, the bottom and put it into slow dough. Slow dough is the good dough. Fast go, quickly made, quickly gone. So tax yourself down. Tax yourself down. I will be releasing a BitMEX. Yes, a BitMEX. I launched on March the 30th. 1 Bitcoin. 1 Bitcoin. I've taxed 15 Bitcoin out of it so far. Every time I've made gains. All-time high now, 41 Bitcoin made. And I've done 4 months. 10 Bitcoin a month. You will have the trade, every trade in it, and I will show it to you. The key thing is though, when it started growing fast and I was gaining and growing with the leverage, I took out because it was growing too quick. Your head gets lost. You get it too adrenalized. And actually, I traded quite rarely on that count. I only go to my hot pot when I'm super, super confident. And even still, I kill a trade early if it doesn't immediately do what I do. And I'm taking bigger stops. In other words, that's your millionaire trading pot shoot the moon. For all your adrenal highs that you guys love so much, that blows you up in your normal trading account. You can't kill the adrenaline junkie in you, but you can give him a place to play where he can do limited damage. And you must have your moderate leverage and your investments pot, which is your foundation of what you do. Fast made gains must be taxed out and turned into capital. Otherwise, it's just casino money effect in your mind. This is important psychology. This is why I teach and train you on the 3 pots: blue, orange, and red. The 3 pots. Okay, understand me now. So that's what you should be doing, Jeff. The question is a long answer, but unfortunately, I only give thorough answers because there's godliness in the land and truth is reasserting suddenly, and fiat is being exposed for the deception and the proliferation that is behind it. And God's money is gold and silver money. And it's always worth having, and it's significantly cheap right now, and you can invest by it on a £1 for £1 basis, and you can build your leveraged account and show patience until you get a proper setup on a method that you understand, so that you can use a little bit of leverage to help you climb the ladder a little bit quicker, and on your hot pots occasionally a whole bunch quicker. But always remembering, you need to take hot gains and put it into cold storage for it to stay stable. The risk of losing it just drops 95% by the time you put it in that blue pot. Literally short of silver going to 0. By the way, electric cars, Mr. Musk, his cars, 5 kilos of steel. You have those of steel. Silver, 5 kilos. Those bars, I have a few. Not here, I'm afraid. Don't even bother to come visit me. I have a few. They make for very heavy drumsticks on your drum kit. Those bars are 5 kilos are going into electric cars. Electric cars use inordinate amounts of silver. It's out of nowhere become 20% of the consumption of industrial consumption of the market. And that's off largely one company, with the others just getting into the game. And that's your future because Greta Green says so. I told you she would become my friend. I told you she would back me. I told you she would help make me rich. The little Marxist commie wench led by all the other Marxist Bolshevik bastards. They're here to make you rich. All the people you hate are serving you because they want this to go to the moon by that which they do. Just don't let them steal it back from you. Go and get some. Go and goddamn get some, Jeff. Jeff, start now, Jeff. Start saving £1, $1 a day and go buy investment on a bullion account link right below. I've given everything for you. I've explained it. I've taught you. I've entertained you. It's all here. Go to the Bullion Vault. If you want to choose someone else and you don't want to serve me, that's fine. Go find someone else. Buy $1 a day. Start with investment. Fund a small account with moderate leverage. Learn how to trade with leverage and wait for the key moments. And that is what we do. And that's a community that requires your energy. Money is energy. Put the energy into it to get it back. We had a guy today. Let me just see. Sniper Social. This is in our premium community. A lovely guy. I should hide his name. I haven't asked him. I'm such a bad boy. Don't do it. Don't do it. I've been here one day. I've already paid for my course. 4x, he says. He won't mind, but maybe I shouldn't have shown him. I forgot I was going to say his old name. Leave him alone. Don't be mean. Okay. But anyway, paid for his whole course. It's all on it. It's all for free now. And blue sky. And we want that for you. But sometimes it doesn't go that way. Sometimes you have a bear market when you start. This is one of the best times ever because reset is going down right now in front of you, and there will be clear-cut, super macro, secular trends with regular setups. If you don't act now, you will never act. Everything we say is going to be coming, has been coming, from calling the bull market in gold to first calling it a bear, to investing throughout the bear cycle as well as the previous bull cycle. It's all coming. Reset is here, guys. And the opportunities for polarization in wealth and to have an online business where you can be self-directed and at home, not have to travel, not have to commute, and actually can build great wealth. I still suggest you should keep some other work in the beginning while you're learning. You don't overnight become a master at this. But right now, the moves will make you the money. You don't even need huge leverage. The moves will make you the money. The moves are going to make you the money. And they're all coming right now. And yes, there will be a pullback. But after that pullback, there will be an even bigger pump. The third leg is often the biggest leg. It just gets better because they're going to keep printing. They're going to keep printing. The deceivers will keep deceiving. The frauds will keep stealing and being fraudulent. And the only way you can counteract that is to be well pinned with leverage and investment, light leverage, investment, and occasional hot pot trades. And that's my strategy. You want it explained in a can? That's the answer to your question, Jeff. And it goes for all these beautiful people. I want you to come out of this better. And I've given a lot away for free. I give a lot away for free. The other guys get it first. They deserve it. And they get to learn much more of their effort, and they get much more regularity and input because they've invested. If you have the value on doing this well, then you've got to decide how I'm going to do it. Am I going to do it properly? Am I going to go for it? Or am I going to watch the news headlines be written by people like me? Other people as well, all seeing this. I'm not the first and only guy to call gold a bull. There's many of them around. But now they, instead of looking like conspiracy theorist gold bug schmucks, now everything they said is coming to be. Which side are you on? Truth and the great failure. Today is the day to start if you haven't started yet. With that, I think it's time to go. Thank you for your time. 696 of you watching. 697 of you watching. 400 likes. That means 2/3 of you think there's some value in this. Plus you got the USD Korean won short trade, which relies on further dollar weakness potentially. Plus you got the IBEX to go, wait for it, from 7,200s to a number possibly with all the nines. We're looking for very, very low threes as targets with an overrun possibly to take you into the 2000s. What's going to happen? We've warned you the NASDAQ is too high. There's two shooting stars. That deflation will take the steam out of the gold and silver boom for a while, the anti-fiats, as people cluster into dollar. They may need to do it fairly soon, but you may still have a week and a half. You may have a day and a half. We will have to see what the gold, I'm going to wait for gold euro to make it home to the macro of that weekly targets. Same patterns we gave you long time ago with real targets that are coming to fruition. Things that we are implying are coming to fruition. And here's the place where you can get it first and foremost. What are you doing about the fact that this money is turning into confetti crap that doesn't buy you anything? Absolutely anything. And you're going to add 2 zeros to this by the time we're done with this bullshit fraud that is being perpetuated on you, where they proliferate more, give it to their banking cartel, bailout interests, come and tax you, send wealth taxes on your home, send every form of taxation to you, strip you out so that you are a peasant in a Bolshevik Holodomor USSR type world for the entire globe in this entire leper colony of sickness? Or are you going to come out strong, polarized strong, at the expense of all the others that wouldn't act? Time to decide. Salute! With that, I say goodbye and have a great week ahead.